What's going on, traders? Sorry for the late video, but we are here. I'm here to update you guys, let you guys know if anything has changed in regards to my thought process when it comes to this upcoming trading week, whether I'm bullish, whether I'm bearish. And right now, I still have to lean bullish. Things are still looking pretty strong when it comes to the overall market. So the first thing we're going to go over is Bitcoin. Bitcoin has officially broken above that double bottom neckline. So we go to the 4-hour time frame. As you guys can see here, we have a bottom here, another bottom here. You can even argue that this is a cup and handle pattern. It really doesn't matter what you call it. The point is the structure is bullish, and so far we are breaking above that structure. Not only are we breaking above the structure, but we are breaking above this trend line, and it looks like we're heading towards that key level of 107k, which is our next major resistance. If we can break above 107k, 107.5k, then chances are we're heading towards 109.5, 110k psych level. And then from there, what we really want to see happen, right, is we want to see a break above this falling wedge pattern. If we can break out of this falling wedge pattern, so what we want to see is a break, retest, and then from there, chances are you are heading towards all-time highs if we're talking about the projected measured move. Now, if you're wondering what the projected measured move of this falling wedge pattern is, all you do is measure the open and close of the pattern. You bring it to the potential breaking point, because we don't know where Bitcoin is going to break out at here yet. But let's say Bitcoin is to break out in this range right here, then chances are we're heading towards 130k. Even if we bring it down a little bit further, we're still looking at 130k. We bring it down a little bit further, we're still looking at pretty close to 130k. Point is, we're looking at all-time highs if we manage to break above this falling wedge pattern. So this is something you definitely want to look out for. But until then, we don't want to make assumptions. We don't want to jump the gun. We want to pay attention to our key levels: 107k, 107.5, 109.5, and 110k is your psych level. And then from there, pack your bags, you're going to the moon. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to Bitcoin. Next thing I want to talk about is gold. So a lot of you have been really interested in gold, and I do plan on talking about gold a lot more on this channel. I probably should have been doing that, but better late than never, right? So right now, I mean, I have to say, gold looks amazing right now. And I was actually talking to one of my admins about this, and we are really bullish, or at least I was letting them know that I'm pretty bullish on gold, simply because if you look at the 4-hour time frame, beautiful inverse head and shoulders pattern. You got a shoulder here, head here, another shoulder here. And when you go to the daily time frame, this is where things get really interesting for gold, right? You have this trend here, right? You attempted to break below it, or bears attempted to break below this trend. You ended up reclaiming it. And keep in mind, this is the daily time frame. So we ended up reclaiming this trend line. And so I have to admit that once you roll back into this trend line, chances are you're going to continue back towards the upside. And one thing I will say is that at some point in time, gold needs to come back up here and mitigate this area here. So right here at around, I would say 4,300, 4,400 more or less, that's where I think gold is going to go if we stay within this trend. Bears attempted to break us down, and I mean, you had a very convincing breakdown. Look how strong this candle is, this bearish engulfing candle is. But bulls stepped in, bears tried to push us down, they failed. They tried again, they failed, and now look what's happening. We're pumping towards the upside, right? So if we're talking about the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, now, one thing I will tell you guys about inverse head and shoulders patterns and their neckline is when it comes to the neckline starts at the first pivot point before the head and the last pivot point after the head. So right here, so you have your first pivot point and then you have your second pivot point here, and that is your neckline. And right now you are breaking above the neckline here. So things are looking good for gold. If you're talking about the projected measure move, you're not talking about anything too crazy, but if we're talking about the measurement from the previous shoulder to the head and you bring it to the original breaking point, or the initial breaking point, you're talking about a move towards 4,100, right? Nothing too crazy there, but interesting enough, there is a fair value gap here at around 4,100, between 4,100, 4,150 more or less. There's a lot of turbulence here, so I imagine gold is going to have a very hard time breaking above this range. But if we can break above this range, I'll say 4,160, 4,170 more or less, so let's mark that out. Gold can absolutely pump towards the upside, and I'm talking about a very fast move. You are very illiquid here, guys, very illiquid. So at that point, if we can manage to get above these guys right here, so you have a rejection here, a rejection back here, you're gonna go crazy. Pack your bags, grab some Doritos, leave the kids, leave the wife, grab the dog, grab the cat, because you're heading to the moon. You're heading to the moon. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to gold. Really don't have anything negative to say about this thing. It looks absolutely bullish. Next, we want to talk about silver. A lot of you have been showing interest in silver as well. So when it comes to silver, I have to admit silver looks great as well. Right now, when you're looking at silver, so let's go to the daily time frame here. So when we're talking about silver and we draw out this trend line here, basically silver just bounced off this trend line, and as you guys can see, look how strong this bullish candle is. So I do imagine that silver is going to continue to pump towards the upside and start filling these gaps all the way towards 47, possibly even go as high as previous highs, which is at around the $50 mark. So that's what I'm looking at for silver. Again, if I'm bullish on gold, I'm obviously going to be bullish on silver. You got a bounce here, very clean bounce here. You have a strong close here. This was a Friday's close. You have a very strong close here. So I can't help but imagine that silver's going to pump towards the upside from this point on. So that's what my thoughts are on silver. Nothing too crazy, nothing too complicated there. So let's talk about the SPY and triple Qs. So when we're looking at the SPY, let's actually look at the NASDAQ real quick. So when we are looking at the NASDAQ, let's reset this. Oops, wrong chart. So when we're looking at the NASDAQ, right, we're pumping towards the upside. I mean, it goes without saying. But what we want to see here when it comes to the NASDAQ, before we get, super excited or start, making assumptions here, is we want to see NASDAQ reclaim this level here at 25,400. So as you guys can see, you have a rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. I mean, it's very clean, clear as day, right? And then you have multiple rejections here. You have multiple bullish wicks here. So right now, we want to see the NASDAQ break and retest this level here. So break, retest, and then from there, you're pretty illiquid. And I imagine these guys right here, where you're seeing all this, turbulence here, you're going to see these guys hold the NASDAQ up, and then from there you're heading towards 25,500, which is our next psych level, and then you're pretty illiquid all the way towards 25,800. So that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the NASDAQ. Now, one scenario that I am looking at that I wouldn't be surprised that happens, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I would imagine that if we do dump from here, let's say we do continue to have a hard time pumping towards the upside from here, then I do imagine that we'll just simply fill this gap, make some type of hideous inverse head and shoulders pattern. So you'll have a shoulder here, head here, you fill this gap, and then you bounce back towards the upside, and then you do your break, retest, and then from there you're heading towards 25,800 more or less. So that's what I'm looking at for the NASDAQ. Pretty clean setup, nothing too crazy there. You just want to see this level get broken here. All right, so next we're looking at the ES. Pretty much the same scenario with the ES. Now with the ES, you are looking a lot better here because you are within range of these guys here. So I do imagine that these guys are going to hold the ES up, and if we do see a rejection back towards the downside when it comes to the ES, I imagine the same scenario is going to play out just like we talked about with the NASDAQ, where you reject back towards the downside, you feel this gap here, you form some type of weird pattern here, I don't know, and then you pump back towards the upside. So we want to see what the ES is obviously a break above 6,800, and break above 6,800, you're heading towards 68.12, nothing too crazy there, and then from there you're heading towards 68.30, very tight range here, a lot of structure here, guys, so you're going to have a very hard time breaking higher. But if you can continue to break higher, then the highest I'm looking at is about 68.60 for now. So that's what we're looking at for the ES. So let's get into the SPY and triple Qs real quick, which is essentially the same thing, right? So when it comes to the SPY, it's looking like we're heading towards 680, assuming that everything remains the same. I'm on the wrong chart. So when we go to the SPY here, it's looking like we're heading towards 680, 682 more or less. We broke this trend here. We closed really strong on Friday. Worst case scenario for now is that you simply reject back towards the downside, towards 669. You retest at 669, which is retesting this trend, and then you pump back towards the upside and you form this, some weird inverse head and shoulders pattern. But regardless, it's looking like we're heading towards 680, especially if we can get above 673 and 675 psych level. We get above those two levels, then it goes without saying that we're heading towards 680. Pack your bags, you're going to the moon there. So that's what we're looking at for the SPY. Triple Qs is pretty much the same thing. Triple Qs is looking really good as well. It looks like we're heading towards 620 if we can get above 615. Now, me personally, I believe if we're heading towards 615, or we get above 615, I should say, we're heading towards 630 in my opinion. I genuinely believe that. Historically, holiday weeks are bullish weeks, so I do believe that the market is going to continue to see upside for the majority of this week before we see possibly a rejection back towards the downside. So right now, we need to get above 615 when it comes to triple Qs. Maybe that's happening after hours. I haven't checked. But if we stay above 615, then chances are we're heading back towards 627, 630 more or less. That's what I'm looking at for the triple Qs. Let's look at Amazon real quick. So Amazon is probably one of my favorite setups right now. it's just a matter of how much space we have towards the upside, or how much further we can go towards the upside when it comes to Amazon. So I mean, this was a clear as day bear trap. You guys ask me all the time, or the traders ask me all the time, how do you know when something's a bear trap? This is a clear as day bear trap, guys. If it's not clear here, I don't know what else to tell you. You go to the daily time frame, and as you guys can see, bears try to fill the gap on Amazon all the way towards 633. It's actually much lower than that. You're looking at about 628. I mean, what am I talking about? 228, 633, 228. Right now, when it comes to Amazon, as long as we stay above 640, why am I constantly saying 240? As long as we stay above 240, I'm not redoing this video. As long as we stay above 240 when it comes to Amazon, I mean, we're heading towards 250. And this is a perfect example of a bear trap. So if you had calls on Friday, not calls, but puts on Friday, heading into close when it comes to Amazon because you had high hopes that this gap was going to get filled, I mean, don't be surprised you wake up in a Diddy party, brother. I mean, on Monday, because it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good. All right. So when it comes to Amazon, again, you have a beautiful bear trap here, right? Bears tried to break Amazon down. You could not fill this gap. Bull stepped in. You pumped back towards the upside. I mean, it's not looking good. So when it comes to Amazon, what you really want to see here, in order for Amazon to just really pump towards the upside, obviously I do believe we're going to head back towards 250. But if we want to continue towards the upside, we want to clear these guys out right here, right? We really want to clear these guys out. So right here, you have these bearish wicks in this area. So if we can clear these guys out, chances are we're going to see all-time highs when it comes to Amazon. I think that goes without saying, right? You don't need me to really tell you that. But if some way, somehow, we ended up just creating a lower high here, so, you know, you bounce towards the upside, you see 250, and then boom, then it's not looking good. But ultimately, what you really want to see here when it comes to being bullish on Amazon, let's say you want to take a trade on this, 238, maybe set a stop loss at 238, and then maybe do like a 245, 250 contract. I mean, strike for a few weeks out, maybe a month or two out, and then do your thing from there. So that's what I'm looking at for Amazon. I mean, it's a really clean setup. Very clean. I mean, very clean bear trap. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner than that. I mean, you go to the smaller time frames and you see clear as day. I mean, this was a clear liquidity grab right here, and then you pretty much broke back into structure here. So these guys are going to hold Amazon up, I imagine. Worst case scenario for now, you just simply retest here at around 242, 240, form some type of inverse head and shoulders pattern, and then boom, you're back towards the upside. That's what I'm looking at for Amazon. Next stock is Meta. A lot of you were talking about Meta in my comments in the last video. I do appreciate a lot of the insight you guys give. Whether you believe it or not, I actually do listen and read the comments. I read majority of the comments. I can't read all of them because at some point YouTube does tell me, well, stops telling me that I'm getting notifications on comments. So it is what it is. But Meta, another beautiful setup when it comes to Meta. In fact, I would argue that this is another bear trap. Not as clean as Amazon, but as you guys can see, I mean, that 600 level, we bounced clear as day off that 600 level. We rejected back towards we bounced back towards the upside. We wicked back towards the upside. It's looking like Meta has found its short-term bottom. At this point, I do believe Meta is headed towards 650. Someone said a key level is 632. I personally am not seeing that. I'm guessing you mean 635. That is a key level. So right here, right? So about 635, 634. I don't know where 632 is coming from. That's not me being a dick or anything. It's just me simply like letting you know that, hey, you got a rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. So bounce here as well. So I don't think 632 is a key level. I think 635 is a key level. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but yeah, I mean, you see it clear as day. You got multiple rejections and bounce here. So 635 is what you want to see Meta get above for you to head towards 650, right? But me personally, regardless, I do believe Meta is going to head towards 650, whether we break above, whether we are talking about that key level or not. So 635, 642, right here where these guys are, these wicks are, and then from there you're pretty much smooth selling all the way to about 670, 680, and I do believe Meta is going to start heading towards 650, 700 being the highest, obviously, and then any higher than that is just a bonus. So that's what I'm looking at for Meta. Tesla. So Tesla, when it comes to Tesla, you want to see Tesla reclaim 435, and then from there 440, and then obviously you're heading towards 455, 460 from there. So not a clean setup when it comes to being bullish right now, but you do have this reversal pattern here, this hammer pattern here. So if Tesla can reclaim that 435, then from there I do think the gates are open towards that 450 level. So that's what we're looking at for Tesla. Ultimately, when it comes to Tesla, as long as it holds 414, you have to be neutral or bullish. Simple as that. You just have to be, right? It's really hard to be bearish as long as that 414 level holds. You bounced here, right? You bounced here. This is not the 414 level. This is just simply a trend. I just pointed this trend out. But you bounced here, you bounced here, you bounced here. You didn't quite test it here, I guess. But if we're talking about the body of the candles, right, you pretty much did, right? So if we're just going off the body of the candles instead of the wicks, then yeah, you did bounce off a trend here. So that's what we're looking at for Tesla. So I do believe Tesla is going to bounce back towards the upside, assuming the market remains bullish. It's looking pretty good. Nothing bad I have to say about Tesla besides, like, you really want to see this cup and handle pattern hold, but it ended up invalidating. But it doesn't mean that, you know, you can't see upside from here, especially when you're talking about how bullish the market is looking right now. Last thing I want to talk about, since we just talked about Bitcoin, is MSTR. Right now, when you're looking at the daily time frame, and I mentioned this in Discord, you're bouncing off this trend, right? You bounced here, and you closed here. Right now, MSTR is gapping up after hours, I believe, simply because of Bitcoin. So right now, it's looking like MSTR can start heading towards the 280s, possibly even 300. You're very liquid towards at least 250. We're probably there already after hours. But if we can manage to get above at least this 270 range right here, then chances are you're heading towards 300. Simple as that. Another stock I want to talk about is APP. This has such a clean setup. It's unbelievable. Contracts are expensive though. Contracts are very expensive when it comes to this thing. But right now you have a inverse head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder here, head here, another shoulder here. You break above 650, this thing is heading back towards the moon. 700, 730 more or less. I mean, it's a clean setup, guys. You zoom out on this daily time frame here, bounce here, multiple bounces here. I mean, you formed the inverse head and shoulders pattern here. Super clean setup. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. I mean, you go further back and you see even a bounce down here. So this trend line is clearly holding. APP has a lot of potential to squeeze towards the upside. It's just something you want to pay attention to. And that's pretty much the video, guys. Let me know if you have any thoughts, any suggestions, any comments below. Let me know what you think about the overall market. Do you think this is a bull trap? Like, we just came from a bear trap to a bull trap, back to a bear trap, you know, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you believe the market's going to see upside, or what do you disagree with me? And if you do disagree with me, just keep it respectful as always. We're all grown here. Let's act like that. All right. So other than that, Discord link will be in the description below. And until the next video, traders, have a good one.